All right, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about a pretty mysterious little book from 1908 called the Kybalion. It's a big deal because it claims to hold the keys to ancient Hermetic philosophy. So the whole thing kicks off with this really powerful question. What if there was a single master key that could unlock all the secret wisdom of the ages? I mean, just think about that for a second. And right from the get-go, the book throws this idea at you. It basically says its wisdom isn't for just anyone. It's only for those with, quote, ears of understanding. This is a theme we're going to see again and again, this idea of hidden knowledge just waiting for the right person to come along. Okay, so what is this ancient master key we're talking about? Well, the authors of the Kybalion, they had a very specific goal in mind. The people who wrote it, they called themselves the Three Initiates, are super clear about one thing. They were not trying to start a new religion. Not at all. Instead, they wanted to give you a tool, this master key that would help you make sense of all the other spiritual truths you might already know. So if this wisdom is so ancient, where did it even come from? According to the Kybalion, you can trace it all back to one single legendary figure, the scribe of the gods. And that figure is Hermes Trismegistus. In ancient Egypt, he was known as the Master of Masters. The teachings claim he was around at the same time as Abraham and was the original founder of this whole way of thinking. And that name, Trismegistus, it actually tells you a lot. It means the thrice great. And it wasn't just a name, it was a title of incredible respect. In fact, the ancient Egyptians revered him so much that they eventually made him one of their gods, the god of wisdom, Thoth. And that's why the Kybalion calls Hermes the great central sun of occultism. The idea is that his original teachings are like this foundational light, the seed from which so many other philosophies and religions later sprouted. So we know who the wisdom came from, but what is the master key? Like, what does it actually look like? Well, according to the book, it's not just one idea. It's a whole framework built on 7 fundamental principles of truth. You know, the book literally calls these principles a magic key that opens all the doors to the temple of wisdom. The thinking here is if you can truly understand these 7 concepts, you can understand the entire universe. That's it, just 7. The claim is that these 7 ideas govern everything, and I mean everything in existence, from the biggest things in the cosmos right down to the little workings of our own minds. Okay, so here they are, the big 7. You've got mentalism, which is the idea that the universe is basically mind. Then correspondence, that's the famous as above, so below. Vibration, the idea that nothing rests, everything moves. Polarity, which says opposites are really just 2 sides of the same coin. Rhythm, the principle of cycles and flow. Cause and effect, the good old law of consequence. And finally, gender, the idea that masculine and feminine energies are in everything. That's the whole shebang right there. So let's just grab one to see how this works. Take the principle of polarity. It says that things that seem like complete opposites, like heat and cold, or love and hate, they aren't actually separate things. Nope. They're just 2 extremes of the same exact thing, and they only differ by degree. And here's the kicker, right? According to this principle, all truths are really just half-truths. Every single paradox you can think of can be reconciled. It's all about learning to see the unity where we normally only see opposites. Okay, let's talk about the big one, the principle that everything else is built on. This one is foundational. This is it, the first and, honestly, the most important principle of all. The all is mind, the universe is mental. This single idea is the bedrock of the entire Hermetic system. So the logic here is actually pretty cool. It goes something like this. Step 1, we humans, down here on our level, we create things with our minds all the time, right? Step 2, the principle of correspondence says as above, so below. So step 3, if that's true, then the entire universe must also be a mental creation existing inside the mind of some universal consciousness, which the book calls the all. And that's why the Kybalion puts so much weight on this idea of mentalism. Because if you can truly grasp this one concept, that reality is at its core a creation of mind, then you are way, way down the path to real mastery. Okay, so what? What does this actually mean for you? If you start to see the universe this way, how does it actually change anything? Well, it all leads to this incredible practice the book calls mental transmutation. And this is the real Hermetic art. It's not about turning lead into gold. It's about learning how to change your own mental states, your own conditions, to literally transform your reality. But, and this is where it gets really mind-bending, this creates what they call the divine paradox. From the absolute point of view, the point of view of the all, the universe is basically a dream, an illusion. But for us, the ones living in the dream, the universe and all its laws are very, very real, and you have to respect them. And this is probably the most important takeaway of the whole thing. The master doesn't win by just pretending reality doesn't exist. That's foolish. No, they win by using these higher mental laws to transform the lower ones. They work with the system, not against it. That's the key. So I'm going to leave you with this one last thought, and it's a big one. If the whole universe is a mental creation just held in the mind of the all, and your mind is a reflection of that, what does that say about the creative power inside of you? Something to think about.